Candace Parker. Welcome to the Trophy Room,
where
we celebrate athletes and their high achievements, accolades, all of those good things. The only one rule is that you have to have one accolade or one trophy that's similar to mine.
Okay.
So, joining me on today's episode, we've got someone that meets the criteria in more than one way. 3-time WNBA champion, WNBA Finals MVP, 6-time WNBA All-Star, All-WNBA first team member, McDonald's All-American, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and among many other accomplishments, Chelsea Gray. Welcome to the Trophy Room.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. I'm excited to sit down and chat with you.
Yeah, me too. I'm just really admiring your socks.
Okay, we gonna keep it on topic. I promise y'all. So I wore the jersey number 3. 3-time WNBA champ. 3's close to my heart. Played on 3 different teams. I got 3 kids. My big 3 in life are food, wine, and sports. So in this segment, I've got 3 things that I want to ask you. Okay. People might not know that you're incredible at impersonations.
It's true.
What's an impersonation that you're proud of, and can you do it to one of these 3 cameras?
All right, an impersonation that I'm proud of. Let's see. Let me see which one I want to do here. But like, hear me out. If we just run horns and you just do the back door, like, it'll be wide open.
Y'all, I'm gonna break it. She doing me.
You know what I'm saying?
She doing me.
You know what I'm saying? Is that pretty good?
That's all right.
It's accurate.
The fingers, the finger with the horn.
Yeah.
I can't stand you. I knew you were gonna do that.
Uh-huh.
You're known for your no-look pass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the most impressive thing that you can do without looking?
Most impressive thing I could do without looking, aside from passing? Ooh, that's hard. I could type.
You can type.
Write a text message.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's what I got.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
And you're really into poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Could you freestyle a haiku?
Ooh.
Can you do a little quick haiku? It could even just be a haiku you've done in the past.
Right off the top of the dome.
So that's 3 lines for those of y'all that did not go to the University of Duke or Duke University or the University of Tennessee. I'll throw you in there. A haiku is 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
Yeah, see, I probably wouldn't follow that. Can I just do my own and not a haiku?
Do it.
Okay.
Oh, you nodding the head.
Yeah.
Do I need me to?
Yeah. Sitting on the couch with my homie Ken. I can do everything she can. She can kind of pass the ball. That's the rock. I love her on the block.
Yo.
Oh, what? That was
Something
good.
Is
that
wrong.
was good.
Something is wrong with you.
Right on time. We don't need water. We need some wine. What else? All right.
All we got to do is
Didn't
put
do
on
the haiku.
All we got to do is put some E40 on and she'll keep going.
Ooh.
All we got to do. That's
Yeah.
all we got to do. All right. We need to know one thing you can't do. Since we talked about all the things you can do and all the things you've accomplished, the list is long. Don't make me read it again because it's really long. What's one thing you can't do?
I mean, I just did a little freestyle, but I cannot sing.
You can't sing?
No. I feel like I maybe like hold a little, but I can't sing. And it really bothers me that I can't.
I feel like you do sing.
I sing really like just fun, but I can't sing.
Can you do the backup for the J?
That's all I got. But I wish I could sing.
All right, we're going to switch to what got us sitting here, which is basketball a little bit. This is crazy to sit here at Unrivaled, to be sitting here with you, who was the first player that signed with Unrivaled, basically. You've gone overseas for years. Now you're able to play in the United States, in Miami, in the winter, the best months, in an inaugural league. I mean, how does that feel to be sitting here from where the first conversation started?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, right? Like, there's a few buckets that you have opportunity here with Unrivaled. Like, you're able to get paid, you're able to stay home with family and able to see you play, and you're able to get better and just hoop. Like, going overseas, you really feel like it's a job. Like, you're going over there, you know exactly why you're going over there to like have an experience. Yes, you get able to travel, that all comes with it, but you're over there for the money, right? But you're able to do that here now, have your family there, and then hoop and get better. Like, there's so much opportunity to get better. If you don't take advantage of it, something's wrong with you. So I think that's like where my mindset went, to be able to stay home and just compete against the best and make money doing it.
And this is a unconventional style
Yeah.
of basketball. Um, it's a smaller court. I think it's 72 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Same width. It's 3-on-3 full court.
Yeah.
You're playing for Rose, BC
Mm-hmm.
this season. You have some pretty unbelievable athletes on your team. I'll just go out and say it. I don't know what everybody's sleeping on. I think your team is actually very unfair, especially for the rules and how you play the game
Mm-hmm.
and the speed at which the game is going to take place. You guys have everything on your roster:
Yeah.
speed, rebounding, facilitating, playmaking, shooting.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm so happy like who I'm going to be playing with. The versatility too, like on both ends of the floor. Like, you have Ka run up the floor, Sykes run up the floor. There might be a line where you see just three guards, just playing, and so that's what I'm excited for. You have people that, like, there's some dogs that want to win, like want to compete, and I think having competitors in this type of format is really cool. We all kind of complement each other, which I think is going to go a long way.
I looked at the roster, and I'll be honest, I don't know what.
I love it.
I don't understand how people thought that this was equal for this game. Like, honestly, I don't
I think it's
agree
great.
with
I think
that.
it's great.
I know you think it's great. I think it's unfair. But, like, how are you going to adjust to this unconventional style? Because the pace of the game, it is about being in shape,
Mm-hmm.
but it is going to be an adjustment in style of play, and how you attack. I mean, defensively as well. I think you all match up very well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yeah, I think offensively, like you said, being in shape is going to be like number one thing. Two, there's going to be moments where, like, your mindset kind of has to flip. Like, you score a bucket, like, you know somebody's going to the bucket. Two people just have to get back. So, like, your mindset, or even if you get blown by one time, take the ball out. You just got to go score a bucket and kind of even the playing field a little bit. So I think your mindset has got to go a little bit faster, a little faster pace, which I love, to be able to adapt to it. So I'm looking forward to that and just completing this season and being in really, really great shape. That's what I'm most excited about as well.
All right, let's get to it. Queen of the court.
Okay.
You entering?
I'm in between.
What?
I'm in between about it.
Why wouldn't you enter?
I knew she was gonna say this. That's why. I'm thinking about it.
You're 5'10". Can
5'11".
guard. You are 5'10".
I'm 5'11". I got measured. How tall are you?
6'4".
With shoes, without shoes, barefoot?
I don't know. With shoes, I guess. I
Oh,
don't know if I'm
so
6.
I'm 5'11".
You are 5'10". Goodbye. Anyway, we'll settle this later. You can guard different positions. You can score one-on-one and get to your spots. I don't understand why you wouldn't enter. What is the hesitation behind not entering?
I don't know. I feel like, yes, I can score. My mindset is just like point guard first and passing. So, like, I'm wrapping my head around entering a one-on-one competition, which I'm a team sport player to me. And so I'm
You
just,
won Finals MVP passing. That's cute. We keep it real on this show, so all that, like, modesty and
I
humble. I just
understand what
read
you're
out off your
saying.
accolades.
I understand what you're saying. It's just that my
You
mindset.
passed as the.
All right, I guess I gotta enter Queen of the
That's
Court.
what I'm saying. I'm calling. Listen, you can't win, so I'll just put that out there. You can't win,
Got it.
so I don't know. I don't know if you should enter. I don't know if you're
Reverse psychology at its
I don't know if
finest.
you're able to win one-on-one, Queen of the Court. Okay, if you were to build a player that you would see as someone, and they're not playing right now, you're like literally taking different skill sets to build a top one-on-one player, what would those skill sets look like?
Length, I probably have him be about 6'2". Shooting ability, versatility, able to play back to the basket and face up. And then
Yeah, because what are the rules? That's my question. Like, is this queen of the court check up like at the 3-point line? Is this at the free throw line? Is this mid post?
I don't know all the rules.
I have questions.
We'll have to look it up.
You know, I got questions.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like those are like my top, and hopefully, play some defense a little bit. But I think the versatility and the height and stuff will allow them to do that.
Forgot to ask you, who are you most excited to play with?
Ka, 100%.
That's so crazy because she had the same answer.
Yeah, Ka, 100%.
You guys are literally like peanut butter and jelly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to watch you guys play together.
Yeah. Nice little toast.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor, like nice burnt toast, not almond butter, like straight up peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter.
Can you do me a favor and just throw her one bad outlet lob? Because she's athletic as all get out. She'll go up and get it.
Oh, perfect.
So like I used to just in blowouts sometimes I would just throw a pass
and just try it.
And her athletic ass would go up and do some.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try it.
So just for fun, do that for me.
It's her fault if I threw a bad pass.
Yeah,
and you talk to
Ka
me
can go up and get it. And what person or player are you most excited to play against?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm probably excited to, honestly, my teammates, I want to lock up Jack a little bit. Playing against Tiffany. I'm excited to play against Jewel, too. Like, she's been a bucket for years. So, it'll be different playing against my teammates for sure.
That's awesome. Overseas, this generation is not going to have to go overseas, which is wild. I remember us talking all the time about overseas and the grind of like ending your season, not really healing up, having to kind of sacrifice maybe healing up injuries to go overseas and make a good living. Like that's where you made your money, was overseas. And so what can you say about the places that you played? You played in Israel, Spain, you played in Turkey, was your last stop. But what can you say about, one, your experience? Because I think now people are going to devalue it, but there is some positive that comes from playing overseas. And two, about now this generation not having to go overseas.
One thing I was told when I first got in the league is you need to go overseas. You get the experience of playing a different type of basketball. You're like, I don't know, like verbatim or like for sure, but I know it had an impact on the style of playing, the way I see the game of playing overseas, because there's not a defensive 30-second rule. Offensively, they don't really call it the way they call the game with travel, like just the rules of the game overseas. I think it impacted my play here in the States. I was able to travel and play with people from all different countries, like hear different languages. That allowed me to like expand my palate. You know what I'm saying? Drink some good wine.
Hey, this is really sad because now everybody's gonna think I'm a lush because everybody that has been on the show has been like, wine. Like,
tequila.
We're gonna start. Yeah,
All
see, this is the problem. I'm gonna start.
It's okay. Like you play with and against so many people, and I've visited countries that I probably would have never guessed to go. Like when you're growing up, nobody was like, "Oh yeah, let's go visit Turkey. Let's go here." And so now I've played there. I've been around the culture, and it's just been pretty cool to like experience that side of it, not just basketball.
And I think you get a great perspective of like life and how the American way is not the only way.
Yeah.
And I always say, maybe not in the fashion that we had to travel because it was a grind at times and it was hard on our bodies. But I do think everybody should travel because you have a different perspective. You see different cultures. You see people as like really just trying to live, be happy, eat good food.
You have to adapt to like different culture, weather, like language barrier. Like you learn, you're like part of your brain is you start learning how to speak a different language, like say something in Russian, go.
Давай пошли.
Ah, look at you.
But how come every single time I text you something and I'm like, hey, is it okay if we meet afterwards? That's what she says it in Turkish.
I speak in Turkish.
She says tamam, which is basically understand, I got you, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Günaydın.
Yeah, that's good morning. Look at you.
You would say good morning.
Oh, played in Turkey like for 1 month. And look at you.
Because of you. Every single time I heard you say günaydın when I wasn't in the Sparks, and I'm like, could she stop? But speaking of which, I remember years ago you were thinking about getting a passport, which is wild.
Yeah.
To think about your trajectory of possibly, because once you get a passport, you're not playing for Team USA.
anymore.
Like, just talk about the last couple years.
Yeah.
Like, talk about from 2015, 2016, since then, because that's not that long ago.
It's really not. So obviously I got traded. Wait, back up. I got traded to the Sparks, and I'm coming.
We're gonna talk about that.
I got traded to the Sparks.
We're gonna talk about
I didn't
that.
know if she knew who I was, so I had to introduce myself. But
No,
anyway.
run that back. We just traded Jonquel Jones. She was in that trade.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm just making sure that you remember.
For me, I was at Connecticut.
Yeah, so we got Chelsea Gray. Like, this was who we wanted. And the first day at USC at practice,
I said, hello, I'm Chelsea Gray.
She introduced herself like
hello,
this.
I'm Chelsea Gray. And you said, I know who you are. I mean, I was going to go play with Candace, you know? Anyways, so I think that really, honestly, not that that's like you're talking on the show, me coming to the Sparks and being in LA and being with the vets like yourself, like it changed the trajectory of my career. And I say it all the time, like, you don't understand if you don't have good vets, like, it takes a special person to be able to adapt, to be able to do it on your own if you don't have good vets. And so I had that with you and Elena and having people there. And I just followed you guys around to understand what it means to be a pro. And I was thinking about the passport because I didn't grow up doing USA basketball. I wasn't invited to the camps as a young kid. I wasn't even in college. Like, I got hurt a couple times when I could have went, but I didn't get that letter in the mail. So I was just like, maybe they're not looking at me. Like, let me go try and make some money somewhere. And like, it was me being real. Like, if I'm not going to be there, why don't we just go get some money, right? And I didn't end up doing it. I was just like, let's give it one more chance, one more try. And the first year, I was like really heavily involved with USA basketball. I made the Olympic team. And I remember to this day, I was like at a rental house up in Las Vegas, and Carol Callan at the time, she called me, and I was like, this is it. I'm over here pacing, nervous. Tepessa's in the office, and she's like, okay, well, I want to congratulate you. I just dropped to the floor. I have no idea what the rest. She was going over logistics. I was like, I can't talk about this right now. Like, I'm part of the Olympic team. Like, it's crazy how the years kind of go by and all the accomplishments you have because you're just focused on one task at a time. And then you look back and seeing all that you have accomplished. And so the run that I've had the last 4 years has been great. Like, Olympics, championships.
I would say 8. Because ever since 2016, which we're going to rewind to.
Yeah, it's been like this. It's been like this. We had some hard years.
Let me explain a couple things. There was a game against the Indiana Fever in 2016.
DNP on me.
And Chelsea did not play for the Sparks.
Yeah.
She did not get on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I always was able to kind of see how you operate and how you manipulate. And I think there's people that play the game and there's people that dictate the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you've always been a player that has dictated the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't have any words because I didn't understand why you didn't play. So that wasn't my rah-rah speech or anything like that. But I remember the next game you got an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And you were ready for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you kind of earn the respect of our coach and, the team,
Trust.
just in how you responded.
Yeah.
Because you have gone through a lot of adversity, injuries in college, injuries that kept you out of your rookie season in the WNBA, challenges of maybe not playing the way that you should in certain moments, but you've always risen to the occasion. Like, what is that? Where does that resolve come from? How do you make the best out of those situations?
I think it's kind of changed over the years. I think early on it was like, okay, let me show you because I've been overlooked. And so it was like the mindset of like, all right, I'm going to just stay the grind. I've been overlooked. I'm used to this. Like, I'm going to show you why. And then it's kind of shifted, like, the last 4 years of, like, wanting to be known as one of the greatest of all time. And there's a level that you get to in how you affect people that you play with yes, the championships, yes, the accolades. I'm not a huge, like, my game and the way I see it, I want to make other people better, right? And so does that happen if I wasn't on the court, right? I want people to be like, that doesn't happen if Chelsea doesn't play. That doesn't happen. Like, I want to be that type of player and that type of person. And so it's kind of shifted to be in the orange jacket. And like, that's where it's kind of shifted. And so overlooked, yes, there's always going to be a moment where I feel like, yes, maybe I should get more of my name or something like that. But it's shifted to like, nah, I just want to be the greatest and have rings for days, because at the end of the day, you can't really battle that. There's nothing else you can kind of say. And then, you know, move over and let somebody else feel it, and let somebody else kind of take the reins a little bit.
And I think it's that mindset shift that I've smiled at
Mhm.
because I've seen, as you've gone on, the skill set, the ability, all that has always been there. But the mindset shift where you belong and where
Mhm.
you should be.
Yeah.
I think that first Olympic team, I mean, yes, you got it in 2016 when you scored 11 straight points for us in game 5.
I remember that. That popped up the other day.
I mean,
Actually.
yes. But I think really where it's like certified was when you made the Olympic team and you were like, okay, it's that I deserve to be here
Mhm.
as opposed to I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know I worked my ass off to be there. It's all about like opportunity, right? People get drafted, people get to different places, and they know they can hoop. They know they have the skill set, but it's all about opportunity. And when things don't go well, like, who are you then? And so I've had a lot of adversity at the Sparks, and then changing it up. I thought I was gonna retire there, and now moving to Vegas, like it just everything kind of shifted, and so how can you come into a place and make it a lot better? And I've been able to do that in Vegas and make people better. And you want to be that person that people want to play with. And so I've been able to kind of be that.
Injuries,
Mhm.
that's something we always talk about.
Yeah.
I like to use the word despite. Despite
Despite the injuries.
despite
Yeah.
despite
Mhm.
the circumstance. You had a pretty serious knee injury at Duke.
Mhm.
That kept you out for a lot of time. Actually, then your freshman year, I mean your rookie year, you weren't able to play.
Mhm.
Like, how do you continue to stay mentally tough despite, if that makes sense? Because I'm gonna keep going real quick
Okay. Keep
because
going.
I was able to have a kind of courtside view of things in Vegas when you hurt your foot. For those that don't know, Chelsea hurt her foot in game 3 of the finals in 2023. And, I was there throughout the whole process,
Yeah.
basically. Post
No,
game.
not just there. She was in my room. I cried. She stayed there longer. Like that injury was crazy.
That
And the
injury was
timing.
crazy, but watching you the next day get up and decide to go be present for your teammates,
Mhm.
and then again to start this season, you had a foot issue,
Mhm.
and watching you battle rehab but still pour into your teammates. Like, where does that mindset come in when things don't work out for you, but you still want to continue to make those around you better while still making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to get back on the court?
Um, I think it stems back from when I heard myself at Duke, making a decision like where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. Like I wanted to do that. I didn't know where it was exactly was going to take me. I just knew I wanted to play in the WNBA, and so there were steps. There was a process that I had to go through in order to do that. I had to get my body right. That was number one. Like you can be there, but if your body like is not telling you that you can do it, there's nothing you can do, right? And so I think it stems from that. And then in 2023, when that happened, it is kind of shook me because I was like, I did everything right. And so I took I took the day, like, first of all, I thought I was playing in game 4. I was like, this injury, not really, I was like, it's not that bad. Like, just put a little shot in it, give me some tape. I'll be all right. No, that joke said no. You can't even put.
You broke your foot.
I didn't know it was that
broke your
extensive.
foot.
I was like, just give me some like cushion or something. We got a game. We got a championship to win. There was a championship on the line.
Girl, I'm not a radiologist, and I saw the line on
Alright.
the X-ray. You were not.
Despite, I was gonna be despite.
Okay. Well, despite. Figure
Um,
out other ways.
And I took the night and I was crying. I was like going through it. I was just like, it couldn't be. All this couldn't be for no reason. Like, come on now. And so the next day, like, Becky called me and she was like, listen, physically, you're not able to do it, but your mind is your best weapon. And I was like, bet. All right, let's go. This is what we have to do, what I saw in game 3. Blah, blah, blah. This is what we got to do. We can still win. They're going to excel. And as soon as they did, we were great. She gave one of the best speeches of all time. Like, everybody was looking at her like this, like, locked in. And everybody was ready. We were like, we're going to win. And I knew that I had ran a lot of stuff, like baseline out of bounds, I call it sideline out of bounds. So I was just like, I gotta still be in that mindset to help them, to help my teammates, and that kind of kept me going. I kind of forgot about it. I threw my crutches on the ground. I lost one of them.
Yeah, I remember. I remember in the celebration, like, Chelsea, where is your scooter?
Done. I gotta have surgery anyways.
Where's your scooter?
let me just throw it.
But I think that's what's so impressive about what you all have built with the Aces, is that camaraderie. And I do believe it does start with you. I do believe that it also begins with Becky. Her being a coach that was able to breathe life and breathe belief and all of that into the team. On air, everybody understands how much I fell in love with Golden State, just because how hard it is to be excellent for that long. I mean, to have a dynasty like they have, but it starts with the people. I think there's a lot of talented individuals out there, but if you don't work together as people, and so to be a part of the Aces and to reunite with you with the Aces, I think that's the one thing I realized was so special about your group. What do you think it is about how your relationship with Jackie, with Asia, with KP, with Becky? I mean, down the line, Tiffany Hayes, add that to the mix. Like, what do you think that is about y'all's culture?
Yeah, I was just about to say culture. I think you're only going to go as far as your culture and the people that you bring into it. It's got to be like-minded, that the goal is the same. And I think that another thing was selflessness. Like, I know it can be kind of, like, you can't have selfish people. Like, there's moments where people are going to be selfish. Like, it's human nature and everybody can kind of cook at any time. But it's like there's a rhythm to the way we do things. And we know, like, our bucket getter, we're going to go to our MVP. We know that this person, we're going to put people in spots. Like, we're not going to ask you to do something in a crucial time that we know you can't do. And there's just like, you create something so beautiful when pieces form together that you had no idea would go together. And me and KP, people were like, you're going to be playing with KP. She likes to run the point. I was like, it's going to go together great. Trust me, it's going to be good. I know what she's great at. She knows what I'm good at. But you said it, like, it started with Becky, like, actually saying if one person's open, you got to give them the basketball. Like, it just her culture and her mindset that kind of made it flow together, and everybody just embraced it. And it just kind of flowed, honestly. She brought in the right people. And when you bring in the right people, selfless, we have fun, and you really don't understand it until you're in it. Like, you can see it on social media, how goofy we are, but until you're in it, like, we have fun, but we also go to work and make everybody else better. We stay late, we get better. And you got to be healthy, obviously, but you really don't understand it until you're in it.
Yeah, I'd add communication, too. The way that different people communicate. Because everybody, I mean, I think that's the hardest thing to master whenever you're coming into a new group or a new situation, or you're bringing together so many different people. It's like mastering the communication.
Yeah.
It's delivering the same message maybe, but delivering it so that you'll understand it, you'll hear me out, or, you know, whatever it is. And I think the way you all communicate is the thing that, like, took me back, like, in terms of how much I respected the way you all deliberately communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a film session, Becky will call out Asia, she'll call out Sid, She'll call you out. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And I think there's that accountability, but there's the direct communication that I was the most impressed with.
Yeah, and like you said, it starts with Becky, but we get on each other too. And that's actually one thing I got from you, is because you wouldn't communicate with me the same way you would communicate with NECA. And I think a good leader, a great leader, is able to communicate with everyone in a certain way. Like, I might yell at you, but like, I'm gonna have your back. And so now that you're saying like communication, it's a huge thing. She doesn't talk to me the same way she talks to Jackie. Is you got to resonate with people, and so she's cultivated that kind of feeling, and it goes like down the line to our assistants, the way they communicate. It's all like in conjunction with one another.
And for rooting for one another. The reason why I decided to go to Vegas, you were a huge factor in that, obviously. I remember the conversations of, at this point in my career, this was going to be my third team. It's like, what am I doing? But then I looked at the landscape, and Anya actually was like, we literally can hang out with the Grays.
Awesome.
In the summer. Layla was all on board, and once Layla was on board, I was like, okay, we're going to Vegas. Pack our bags. We're going to Sin City. But you had a lot to do with the building of that culture and who you are. How have you transitioned from a rookie, somebody that's quiet, that just does their job?
I was quiet.
You were really quiet. Like, there would be some times where I'd be like, Chelsea, you see that. Say it. To now, I'm in timeouts like, I was in the huddle like, oh, who is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to see two versions of you as a point guard, and I think you always want your point guard to be your best communicator and your leader, but you're leading in a different way now.
Yeah. It's funny, I was talking I forgot who I was talking to the other day, and I was just like, I was at the Sparks in 2016. I was like, all right, I'm going to be here, but you guys go get it done. You guys, I'm going to be here. I'm going to do my role. I got my 10 points. Come on, go get it done. And then, like, flash forward 2022, I had rookies. I had people. I was like, all right, Chelsea, you go get it done. Like, I was in a different seat. And it's been, like, after you said around the Olympics where it kind of turned in the communication piece, I understand, like, I always said I never wanted to be considered the best player, but I wanted to bring the best out of everybody else. And so I knew I can do that with my leadership and my mind. I had to be smarter up here. I had to make sure that I was looking at film from a different perspective. I understood people and the people I was playing with, like how to communicate with them, how to make sure that the communication made sure that they know that I see them, that they're valued, and everybody can eat. And you get more when you win. It's really simple. Everybody gets more when you win. And so you can be mad at me for a quarter, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you're going to end out of this game with a dub and go on All-Star. Like, that's what I wanted. And so coming from that mindset, like, I have 3 rings now because of that mindset shift. And so it's been pretty cool. And I wanted to play with you to kind of like, look, we can do this again. It's just different seats. Let's do it again.
Oh, it was different. There was none of this. I'm a twirl on the horns. I remember one time you were like, I'm a twirl. I was like, Candace can't do that no more. Candace is 35.
Yeah, we still do. No, you did a twirl, and you
did
the lob,
and you
did the lob
when I played.
Who's counting?
I was 36.
We did the
and
little
she wanted me
lob.
to go turn around and do a lob. I was like,
whatever
Chelsea,
the case may be.
30-year-old Candace. This is 36-year-old
Still the greatest,
Candace.
one of the greatest of all time.
Listen, but I will say that, in Vegas right now, you all won back-to-back championships. There's not very many people that have had the opportunity to go for 3.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very short list, and there's even a shorter list of people that have been able to accomplish the three-peat. What was the hardest part of going into a season in which the expectations were high still? You all still had an amazing team. Obviously, there's ups and downs and there's setbacks and things like that. But what's the hardest thing mentally to try to do something again and again and again?
Let me think. When you win a championship, it's not completely reinventing the wheel. What got you the last championship isn't going to get you this one. Like, you can't do the same things. I think that sometimes we were trying to do the same things that got us the last championship. Yeah, we have the same people, but teams are constructed a lot differently. I do think uh, it was different the way we started the season because I was not playing. I think we would have been in a different position probably if I started off the season because everybody was adapting to a new environment with me not out there. Communication, not like point guard, everything. Um, I just think that we were trying to do things how we wanted before, and that's where we kind of fell short. Um, and then like everybody wanted to take our heads off, man. Like when you're at the throne, everybody's like, okay, who's gonna go next? And we had to play with a chip on our shoulder, and we didn't do that all the time. If I'm being 100% honest, and so
Well, it's also hard to do that for 3 years straight,
yeah,
to play with
it's
a
like
chip on your
it's a
shoulder.
mindset that a collective group has to have all the time, and it only takes like a couple to not have it one game.
New York,
Yeah.
okay. You all have kind of flip-flop championships.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2. New York just won this last one. Like, obviously the league is seeing this as the future rivalry of the league and the current rivalry, and that you are gonna go to New York next year on their ring night.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I can't wait for that basketball game.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just like, they, people construct the schedules, all the things. I remember when we won, we went back to, I think we opened up in Seattle. That was our semifinal game. It was really, really good series. I mean, the league made the schedule. I'm excited for it. It's an opportunity, I love spoiling ring nights. We did it before.
You've done it a couple times with a game winner against Minnesota.
Yeah, it was great. So I'm looking forward to it. But it's what fans want to see. I understand that. Everybody tunes in for matchups. They want to see A and Stewie go at it. They want to see, we played in the semis, but everybody knows that it's been Vegas and New York for a while. So I understand it. It's gonna bring eyes to our game, it was just cool with me.
I'm gonna rewind back to the Sparks because I'm a little partial in terms of the rivalry.
Yeah,
I understand Vegas and New York have a huge rivalry. I
I
get
said the
it,
Sparks in Minnesota.
but I think people forget Minnesota
Yeah, 100%. I said
Lynx
that the
and
other
the
day.
Sparks. 2016, we were able to win in Game 5. 2017, they got us in Game 5, but you hit the game winner in Game 1 in 2017. I think there was like 2 or 3 points that separated our complete score over a 3-year period of time, which is pretty unbelievable. I mean, the rivalries are really good for the league. I was going to ask you which one was your toughest rivalry, but you answered it with Minnesota. What rivalries did you watch growing up that you like in any sports?
I watch Lakers Boston all the time. I actually like before like coming to the league, like Sparks and Phoenix were playing against each other a lot before it was like when it was Western and Eastern Conference. So I watched that a ton. I loved watching like when LeBron was doing a thing and Steph was doing his thing. Like that was great for basketball, and so I would watch that all the time. I'm trying to think. I mean, I went to a school where Duke and North Carolina was the best rivalry in the world, so it's just like I love that type of environment. So I guess I'll start there. You got what's yours? What's yours? What you got?
I would say Bulls Pistons was probably
Come on,
mine.
Chicago.
Yeah, I would say Bulls Pistons was probably my rivalry, to the point where like I went in the NBA TV studios the first time and Isaiah Thomas sat down and I was like,
Mm.
and
Not
now
the
he's
look
one
up
of my
and down.
favorite. Now he's one of my favorite players and people ever. But I was like, you're a bad boy. Like I
Yeah.
can't like you. But I say all that to say with rivalries, like you kind of solidified your name as one of the great point guards
Thank you.
in this game, in that rivalry against Minnesota, playing against Lindsey Whalen, who's gonna be a Hall of Famer, is a Hall of Famer. Shoot, Simone Augustus. You talk about Maya Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit the game winner in 2017. In Game 1, I'll never forget. Brian Agler drew up a play, and I was like, no, we're going to
I
give the
remember
ball
that.
to Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Elbow
I'm
jumper.
so glad that he trusted me because he was trying to do a handoff
I mean,
for
it was
Odyssey to
kind
come
of
off.
a
Like,
complicated
what
play.
are we doing? I was
Yeah.
like, let's just give the ball to Chelsea and let her get to her spot. In those moments, because you've hit a number of game winners in your career, in those moments, like, what is your mindset? What do you say to yourself? What are you trying to accomplish?
I want to get the best shot possible. I remember in 2016, I passed it to Elena in the corner because Maya helped off from the corner. You got to pass the basketball wide open. I want to get the best shot possible. I always say, like, I've shot that shot a million times. The only thing different is this time on the clock. And so I'm like, there's only one shot, that layup, and after the spoiling the ring now, I was like, I don't really do that all the time. The left-hand layup, double pump, and kind of over Sylvia. I don't really do that all the time. But everything else is just like, it's the same thing. It's like I've done 1,000 reps. I want to get the best shot possible, but I know, like, you know, I have the confidence to raise up and do those types of things, and you live with the consequences, honestly.
2017, I'm at your birthday party, and I wrote a message on my Insta story, and I wrote Point Gawd,
That was crazy.
and I wrote a bunch of W's and a bunch of D's on it, and that nickname is kind of stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I saw it from the beginning. I'll just be honest. I'm not gonna be humble in that. I saw your greatness from the beginning. What is it like to grow into that? Because I feel like now people recognize you as that. There was some debate in 2017, 18 where it was like, oh, is this person? And then now the debate has just stopped. Like, everybody has accepted that you're the best point guard in the world.
Yeah.
But what was that like, that process, like, growing into that?
I had a lot of people like, oh, you're not this, oh, you're not that. It was crazy. I was just like, everybody in women's basketball, you like in men's basketball, you call them they're this, they're that. I'm just like, why can't I have a nickname? First of all, like, let me just have my nickname. But it's pretty cool that to get recognized like that is like you helped change basketball, like not just women's basketball. You've helped change basketball, and people understand that. You have young kids that's doing that. It's on a shoe. Like, you growing up, you wanted your name on a shoe. You wanted your nickname on a shoe. Like, you wanted your emblem. And so now it's on a shoe. I'm just like, there's different steps that you would think as a kid, like, this is my dream and I've accomplished it. And so now it's like sitting back and enjoying the process that I've kind of went through. But shout out to Cam for putting that on Instagram, and now that's the name that's on the side of the shoe and everything. You want some royalties for that?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. I'll get a nice bottle of wine tonight from you.
Okay.
Speaking of which, you grew into that name, and one of the hardest decisions for me was leaving the Sparks.
Me too. That conversation was not easy.
I was there for 13 years. I played 13 seasons with the Sparks, and I remember our conversations going into free agency where we were both kind of open, but like more leaning towards going back to the Sparks. But then we were going to listen. We were going to listen to, other pitches and other teams and things like that. And for us to be as close as we were at that time, because we were pretty close at that time in 2019, 2020, we spent almost every night in the bubble playing games, cooking. We had spelling bees. We did everything. But then to go from making a decision, and I think that's what I value about our relationship, is that we make decisions with our best interests, but we know that we're always still going to be there. I mean, we didn't know it was going to be written that I was going to come to Vegas or whatever. But how hard was that for you to make the decision? Because that's your first real free agency decision, that you got an opportunity to play where you wanted to.
So there were like 3 buckets, right? There was one, like, I thought I was going to retire with them. Like, I saw it. Family was able to get there. And then 3 was honestly playing with you. And I was just like, we didn't know about Vegas, like you said. It was like, we didn't know that was going to be our last time. It didn't end on a good note, and the bubble was like, we didn't know. And so we had gotten close. And so that conversation, I was dreading that conversation. I remember Tepes was like, you going to call it now? I was like, no, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not ready. I was emotional just because it was an end. I felt that it was just like an end of something that didn't have like a bow on it. And so there was more out there. And that was the hardest part for me. But I understood that in order for me to, get better and for a franchise to see my value, I had to leave. I had to go. And so it was difficult as heck, man. But now looking back on it, was one of the greatest decisions of my life to do that. And I actually think we got closer after that
Yeah,
because
it's more intentional.
we had to become
you had to be
intentional of like spending time and like seeing each other. When you're seeing each other at practice every day, it's like, I'll say it tomorrow. But no, we had to be intentional with our words, put our phones down because we only had 12 hours, So I thought at the end of the day, like off the court, it made us closer and our families closer.
Yeah, and I also think that the time with the Sparks, everybody kind of looks back and there was no bow at the end of that. But I also think I valued going through tough experiences alongside you because I don't know if I would have gotten through the last couple of years without you. Like, to be honest with you, just in terms of mentally, just draining, going through the ups and downs. We all know, I don't mess with Derek Fisher. So just the mind games and the issues that we had internally as a team, as an organization. So I think there's value in finding someone that you can go through those tough times because when you do go through the great times, I feel like that's that much sweeter.
Yeah, I remember we after that season, I called you. You were just like, I just don't want to talk right now. I was just like, dang, she left me on red. Like, it was like a communicate. I think our friendship and like our understanding of like greatness in sports grew in that moment too, because it was like, you need space, I need space, but like at the end of the day, like there's a respect, there's a love there that we're gonna come back to. We just needed time, a lot of time, which is crazy to think about. And then I was like, well, you're still in my wedding, right? Okay, I'll see you at the wedding.
Yeah, I was a bridesmaid at her wedding.
Yeah.
Of course I was going to be in your wedding. Stop.
Yeah.
You know that.
No,
there was
like-
nothing personal. I just am a person that when something happens, I need time to process because I don't like my emotions to get away from me.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever say anything I don't mean. I feel like I'm very intentional with what I say. And when I want to say it, I want to mean it.
Yeah.
And so it was nothing you did.
No, 100%. I think part of it, yes, it was a lot of it that nothing I did, but I think I wasn't a person in that moment that I am now to be able to communicate that to Derek or to communicate that.
But there's also
to
youth.
you.
There's also a youth level.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
So I think in talking to you these last 2 years, you are very deliberate with your communication and directness that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Because I think as you get older, you realize the need that like in those moments, you actually need to communicate more. You can't pull back and not do those things. And so I don't know. I think watching you mentor the next generation now, I sat with, I would say you and Ka are like, I mean, two of my favorite players I've ever played with, obviously. But two of the players that I have been most proud of watching, being your vet, but then also now watching you and the way you move and how you mentor, you're playing with an all-time great in Asia Wilson now. But watching you and the way you communicate with her and how that evolution has happened, it makes me smile because I see some things and I'm like, yep. Like,
that's you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I done a little something.
You
Like
did a little something.
She
You did a little
doing
something.
a little something.
Yeah, it's been cool. Like from our first year, I knew she was gonna be great. Just like the first year, like just being around, like from afar, you're just like, she's hard to guard. Don't let her go left. It's easier said than done, but she's really, really good. And so I think your point guard and your post got to be on the same kind of line, and you can't really win if that's not a line to me. Like if you go down the line, you've had that. And so just being a part of that, like understanding where she likes the basketball so she can be great, knowing plays that she likes, like right off the top. Like I know in this moment where she would want the basketball or if she hasn't touched it in a minute. And I'll go down the line with like Jackie and KP and like just seeing all the things. And so being around Asia, she's so good and so great. She's a great person. And so being around that, I just wanted to cultivate like that kind of environment and have fun doing it. Like we're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy each other, but it's going to be a level of trying to just go win at the end of the day.
There's
and
also
then now,
a level of business.
Yeah, you'll be proud. Jackie be having tequila sometimes. I'd be like, Jackie, you gotta have tequila, and that's you too. You know what I'm saying?
Now everybody's gonna
You
think
know.
I'm even more of a lush.
It's all good.
We're
Wine
gonna
and
talk
tequila.
about
I haven't got her on
we're gonna
wine
talk
though.
about ginger ale.
Okay.
And also, now I think sitting back and bringing that proud vet, I'm watching you transition into media, and you cover Kings, Sacramento Kings. I've been able to catch you on a couple post-game shows, and how has media impacted the way that you already see the game at another level?
It's being able to communicate your point with an audience that has no idea what you're talking about, or an opinion for TV. How to work with other people that probably doesn't see the game the same way you do.
Are you more on time to media interviews because of it? Because I felt like when we would do a pre-production meeting my first year in media, and the player would come out like 25 minutes later, and you've been sitting there with your prep questions for whatever time. So like I made it a point my last few years of to be like on time to stuff like that.
That was always kind of your kind of on time issue. I think
you're always on time?
I was pretty much on time.
I was always the player that would come out like, "Oh, you've been sitting here forever. I put ice on my knees and all that stuff." Now I'm in my jersey, I'll do the interview because I'm like, I don't want you to have to wait.
Oh, that's really sweet. What
man,
about when we're ready to go to dinner? Are you good about doing that?
I'm always on time. I'm just talking about, it's 2025. I haven't been late yet. Let's talk about kids real quick. Can't really real quick it because I've seen you in motherhood. Son Lennox is just your entire heart. You can tell just like how your face lights up. What is basketball like now that he's a part of this journey?
Man, he has a hoop in his little playpen. One side is a hoop, one side soccer. I would always point to the basketball and say, "Wow, it's a hoop." And one of his like first 5 words is, "Wow." So it's cool. Like I walked out with him in a ring. It was pretty cool. I saw you do that with Gus. I was like, that's gotta be dope. And just like he was born, and it happened that we won a championship. Man, of course I'm walking out with my guy. So it's cool. Like I can't wait for this next season that he's gonna be able to walk around and be able to enjoy it a little bit more and be around the players, be a little bit more self-sufficient. But he was able to go to games, and I look up and I see him in the stands, and it's there's no love like you have for your kids. It's kind of indescribable, I would say. I want him to do whatever he wants, but of course he got a basketball in his crib, and he got a basketball.
Well, when you all were over at the house the other day, he threw the ball and looked this way.
Yeah.
So he's already got the no look.
He saw
passed
it.
Down.
The only TV he really watches is me play.
I'm just saying, he don't look when he passes. He's always no looking for every single pass that he has. But I just think you and Tip are phenomenal parents, and it's been fun watching you.
Thank you.
Along this journey, and I'm appreciative of the things that you have done for my kids. I mean, you pulled up to birthday parties for Layla at parks when it was freezing cold. You pulled up to her volleyball games, her basketball games. And so I'm looking forward to being able to like be there and be present and show Lennox how to look on passes.
Kids remember that stuff, man. Like you remember who shows up, or like who you have to call, who are mommy and mama's friends that like if something happens, like who do you call? That's not like family. And so I always wanted to be that for your kids, right? Like, and I wanted Lennox to experience that with you guys. And so I think it's important to have a village outside of your immediate family.
100%. I could not agree more. And I am like super appreciative of like those moments. You're not done yet, obviously. I mean, you a vet, but you not super vet.
Yeah, not yet.
You got a laundry list of accomplishments that you put together for yourself. But like, what's next in store for Chelsea Gray? What do you want next?
What I want next, I want to climb up that leaderboard in amount of assists.
Damn, wait, hold on.
I don't know where I'm at right now.
Chelsea, you are 7th and I'm 8th. You better not climb that leaderboard. I need to hold on to my 8th spot, girl.
I need to go up. Obviously, more championships. If I had the opportunity to play in the Olympics in the United States, that would be pretty cool, and my son could really experience
2028.
that. Yeah, that is the goal right now, is to be there, healthy, be there. Win championships, and like I said, that orange jacket, I want that. And so each year is about being great, me being better, but also making other people great as well.
I love that. I think that is in your future, 100%. What is something that you live by? What is a piece of advice or quote that has been given to you that you live by and has gotten you to where you're at now?
If you don't see a path, create your own. And I think I've been able to do that. Yes, I take a little bit here from this person, a little bit there. Some people are just like, I want to do exactly what she did. And something happens, adversity happens, injury, or you switch teams that you didn't know you were going to go to. You play in a city that is like, it was supposed to be a vacation destination. Now it's your list of like where you live. So I always say, like, if you don't see a path, create your own. Like, it'll be fine.
That is like, you could probably ask me a million things and I've never heard you say that. That's amazing. I mean, you've done it, you
Yeah.
represented it, but
I think that's my thing.
never
now.
asked you that.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what's your biggest fear?
Sharks and crocodiles.
But now we're in Miami. Is the fear?
There's both here. I'll be on the boat in the water. I will not touch the water.
No, but
What's
y'all,
down there?
she's really serious. Like, she is
So
definitely afraid.
serious.
So to the point where all I do on Instagram is send her videos of crocodiles.
I know,
and
like,
sharks.
weird, like, things, like, if you encounter one, what you're supposed to do, like, different
And
things.
she's like,
Just
I'm
in
not gonna
case.
encounter it.
Yep.
Yeah, she won't even put her feet in the water and then sitting off the
Pool. I got you at the pool.
I'm gonna have to take you snorkeling at some point. All right, so we're gonna do this last segment before we wrap up.
Okay.
Okay, the segment is called Who Said That? I'm gonna read you a quote about yourself, and you've got to tell me who said it.
Ooh, this is. I don't have.
She likes
like,
to
a people,
cheat. She likes to cheat, so I put the paper up.
I don't have like a list of people.
She
I
likes
gotta
to cheat, so
bring
I
people
put the paper up. All right.
Whatever.
She's probably the salt, something that you just need a little kick to it to change the whole meal.
Kelsey Plum.
No.
Oh, the salt. She said something about salt when you bake a cake.
Asia Wilson in September of 2024.
Asia did say that.
Asia said that. Asia, I'd be upset. She didn't
said
give you credit.
My bad, A. My bad, A.
Chelsea, this has been amazing.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have made it a little better is if we could have had a nice little cab, a bold cab.
I'm having some bold water.
But no, I appreciate you sitting down, getting candid with us, and sharing how your greatness has allowed you to be sitting in the seat. I'm rooting for you this season.
Thank you.
Stay healthy. I still think your team is like unfair. I don't understand.
I'm
how
excited
the league...
for it. Stop saying that so much.
I mean, I'm just saying.
People gonna hear this.
Anywho, but thank you for sitting down in the trophy room.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to you adding more trophies to that trophy case.
Absolutely.